Today I'm going to show you how to install the Santec 1/2 inch thermostatic valve. First thing you need to do is find out what the wall thickness is. The reason for this is you want to make sure you don't put the valve too far back in the wall or too far forward in the wall. On the mud guard there is a min-max lines. You want to make sure that the min-max is somewhere in between the finished wall. Once that is done, you take off the mud guard. There's normally 2 screws, but for this showing, I've only installed 1 to save time. Once you take the mud guard off, what you're going to do is flush the lines out from any debris, which can be solder, could be copper chips. Okay. That comes off. Next, you want to take out your hot and cold stops. And after this, you're going to take your cartridge out. And to do this, you need to take off the plastic sleeve, slides right off. Take off the brass ring. This piece holds the cartridge down, that comes right out. Screw it out. Now the cartridge will pull out like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to run your water for a few minutes and let it flush out from any debris. If you don't do this, what could happen, debris may get caught in your hot and cold inlets on your cartridge. Where these screens are, with debris getting on there, will not allow the temperature to adjust properly. Also, when you solder the valve in the wall, you want to make sure you do not solder too close to your hot and cold inlets. If you do, you may heat up the O-ring on the cartridge or the plastic components on your hot and cold stops, and you may melt them. So it's very important not to solder too close to your hot and cold inlets. So once that's done, shut the water off. You can start putting back your hot and cold stops. Tighten them. Nice and snug. That's in. Next, you put your cartridge back on. Now your cartridge has a red marking that will align to the 12 o'clock position. So what you do is you just push this back in. Okay. And once that's done, you can put back your brass sleeve that holds down the cartridge. Make sure that's tightened. Okay. Now you're ready to assemble the trim. You're going to put this plastic sleeve back on which is your temperature control. There's a red line next to the shoulder, and that will just slide on to the cartridge at the 12 o'clock position. Press that in all the way. Next, you can put on your diverter sleeve. And then your brass extension, which just slides right in over the diverter. Now you can put on your sleeve over the brass component until it stops. Next, you can put on your plate. Put your collar that will secure the plate on until it's nice and tight. Next, you're going to put on your directional plate for your diverter, and the off will be at the 12 o'clock position. Okay. Next, you want to put on your sleeve. This will screw on and screw it down all the way until it stops against the directional plate. Now your trim plate is all secure. Next is putting on your diverter handle. You want to make sure that the handle is pointing to the 12 o'clock position, and this piece will just screw on. Okay. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay. Next is you're going to put on your plastic sleeve, and then your dial assembly where the button is facing the 12 o'clock position. Next is the handle. The handle slides right over the broach, and that will be facing the 6 o'clock position. And that tightens down with a set screw. Take your Allen wrench, tighten it down. And now you have everything assembled, and it stops at 12. You can go up to 120, stops at 100, 120. And just to let you know that the valve is pre-assembled with 100-degree temperature. Now, the plumber may have to calibrate the cartridge as your water heating system may be turned up to different degrees, so it might be slightly off. So you should be, in that case, you should be calibrating the cartridge. You would need a temperature, water temperature thermometer, or they have a digital, and that will show you what the temperature coming from your shower head or tub spout. And that's the assembly of the Santec 1/2-inch thermostat valve.